Welcome CSE 102 class. It's Spring 2020, and this is a revamped version of WD06 research paper for both the online class and the in-class, which is also doing online for this part of the semester. And what I'm going to do is just go over the intro part of it first, getting set up. And for this paper, you're not going to have to write a paper. You're basically going to be formatting it and then adding a bibliography or a works cited page and adding some in-text citations. Now, we've used word tools in the past, but I'm going to try to use EasyBib. I know that's a little more popular with students, and it's a little more accessible, and it actually works a little bit better in terms of consistency when setting up MLA8. So I'm going to do my best with that. I haven't used it. I just tried it out for the first time, and I find EasyBib and BibMe both very frustrating to work with. So that said, let's kind of get started here. I just want to show you a couple things. On my Warren, when you go to Documents and Resources, and you go to handouts, you're going to see everything you need for this assignment. This is under WD06, so I think it's unit 6, and it's WD06. So you'll see the instructions, which are here, PDF version of the instructions, which you could click on. I'm in Chrome. And you can also see a sample, which I'll show you right now because there's some things I want to show you on it. This is a sample paper. Now, I don't have all the pages on. I just have the first page and the last page. Now, a couple things just to point out about formatting. Everything's double-spaced. All the body of the paper should have a first line indent. We've done that before. It's just a half-inch first line indent. That's paragraph formatting. That means every time you hit return, it'll make a new paragraph that has a half-inch indent. We're going to center the title. We're going to have a 1-inch margin all around. We're going to put page numbers with your last name and the page number in a header, not in a footer. There's nothing down at the bottom, so there's nothing in the footer. So we're going to do that at the upper right because that is part of MLA guidelines, and that's what we're going to try and stick to here. We're not going to use APA or anything like that. We're going to stick to MLA. And we can even take this page number off depending if your instructor prefers you to have the page number on the first page or not. And we just have this little title area here. We don't have a separate title page. And then we're going to have in-text citations. That's basically where if you have a thought or a quote or something that's coming from another source, you basically have to reference that source with a citation or cite that source. That's why they call them citations, because you're citing your source. And it has to be cited in a certain way with parentheses. We're not going to have dates on there. And they should be inside the period. And here's 2 here. And I don't have any other pages, so I'm not going to show you those. And at the end of the paper, on a separate page, will be a works cited section. And a couple things just to note on here. You'll still have your page number up there with your last name. All the entries in the works cited section will have a hanging indent, meaning the first line is out on the margin. And any lines after that, no matter how they wrap, will be a half-inch in. So it's kind of opposite of the way your paper is. So this is a first line indent. This is a half-inch hanging indent, which is kind of opposite. Everything here is still double-spaced. The only thing different is this is centered. So don't make anything bold. Nothing's going to be bold here. In fact, you will make a couple things italic, but we're going to try to get that from either from EasyBib or from BibMe. That'll be formatted already, but that's very easy to do. So there's not a lot of difficult formatting to do here. We're going to do that first, and then we're going to put our citations in. So this is a sample to kind of look at for reference. And again, we're just going to use website resources. So we're not going to use books or journal entries or anything like that. I'm just here to show you the tools. So I'm going to hopefully make that as easy as possible. And certainly you should use the library and you should use your instructor as your first reference, not me. I'm just here to show you the tools. So if you have an issue on your paper, don't blame CSE 102. I'll just try to show you as much as I can on it. So that's the sample paper. So we have our instructions, our sample paper. We have some guidelines here which go over some of the specifications I just showed you and formatting the first page of your paper. There's also a link down here, so I'm not going to worry about that right now. But you could certainly open that up or print it out, but you should certainly read over it. The most important thing, I guess, on here would be this, the citation style guide. That's from the library. And if you go to the website for a school and you click on library, when you get to the library page, you'll see a citation style guide for MLA 8. That's what we're going to be using. And that's this thing here. And I'm going to close this up because it's actually on this page too. This is the same thing here. So wherever you want to get it from. But a couple things just to point out is please read these. If you're ever going to do a paper, just note a couple things to point out here. They don't use the HTTP as part of the URL. And they also don't put the little tags on there anymore. Word still does that. That's why we're not going to use the word tools. And I have older videos which you could look at the word tools if you want, but they seem to force you to do a lot of editing after the fact, which isn't really that helpful. And a couple things, it says you do have to put accessed If you're using a digital source, meaning a website, you do have to put accessed, and you do have to put the date at the end. And if you don't know what those X's are, I'll show you in the sample. They say the date on that, and we'll do that when you watch the rest of the video. So a couple things in here to read through. And also, when you go through here, since we're going to be using websites, they have all kind of examples in here. But if you go all the way down at the end, I think it's like page 16 or 17 when you scroll through here, they have websites on here. So use those as a reference to how your formatting should be. And again, in-text citation means the part that's inside your paper, and works cited is the part that's at the end of your paper. So they have samples here, and there's lots of places to look for this. But this is your first resource is through the school, because everything will follow what they do. So they're the first authority as far as that goes. So I just want to make sure that you see these resources here. They're all here. And then another thing I did put here so that you could work on is the last name F. So that's your work file. That's the one you're going to open up and you're going to format as you work on. So this is the one that you're going to work on. And you could download it from here. You could also get it from your assignments. So that's up to you. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get started with this. We're going to format the paper first, and then we're going to try to use EasyBib and see how that works, and create our bibliography and create our in-text citations. Keep in mind, you could either create an account for EasyBib, or you can try to work through it when it's free, and they make you watch little ads and little movies and stuff. So, whatever you choose, I find it frustrating either way, but we'll see how that goes. I'm going to do this on the Mac side first because that's more familiar to me. I know not everybody uses a Mac. I'm going to try to do the Mac side first, then I'm going to do the Windows side, and then I'll try to do a version with Google Docs, so we'll try to cover all bases. So if you're working on a Chromebook or something like that, at least you can be able to do this exercise that way as well. So that's the end of part one as far as this goes. So we're going to get started. I'm going to start on the Mac version next, and then we'll do the Windows version, and then we'll do the Google Docs version.